Children roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost slipping on your toes. Oh, hey there. How you doing, VC? It's that time of year. We are now in December. And as promised, I'm going to start down a journey of Christmas music. Send this out to that old goat, Don. A large portion of my Christmas music collection is on CD, but I do have quite a bit on vinyl as well. And I'm going to begin with the old school stuff. Basically, what I'm going to show now are leftovers inherited from my childhood, my parents' records, and some of these I've picked up in the bargain bins. Uh, these are the albums that, for a period in my record collecting life, were uncool. Just didn't want to listen to this stuff anymore because it just wasn't my kind of music. I wanted rock and roll in my Christmas music. Uh, but I guess I have matured in my musical tastes to the point where I've been putting some of this stuff on the platter and enjoying it immensely. It takes me back to my childhood. My mom was kind of in charge of keeping Christmas music going on the big Magnavox console in our living room. So a lot of this music sunk into my subconscious, whether I realized it or not. And now it brings back memories of those times. Uh, I get a little misty sometimes when I listen to this stuff. Because, I don't know, like many people, I suffer from the seasonal affective disorder, and it's something I have to be aware of and do battle with this time of year. Uh, but that's enough about that. I'm going to show some records. This particular record this is one I purchased in the bargain bins. And this is the one that's supposed to be playing right now. But I forgot. So bear with me a moment. So, Christmas with Robert Shaw conducting the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra and Chorus. I've mentioned in some videos before that I was really never a fan of choral music until I discovered that I actually am a fan of choral music. And I love this record. And one thing I didn't discover until later, because the logo is not presented on this album cover anywhere as we normally expect for a quadraphonic album. And I was reading the back of it, and it says this quadraphonic record was made using the Sansui QS matrix encoder. Use of the encoding process permits the production of a compatible recording that contains 2-channel stereo and 4-channel quadraphonic program information without loss in frequency, dynamic range, etc. So I don't have the proper gear to hear this in quadraphonic. I really wish I did, because this album sounds fantastic, and I can't imagine how great it would sound in quadraphonic. I love that cover art. It's playing in the background. It may be too low. All right, after that, Merry Christmas from Johnny Mathis in stereo. I was really shocked to learn that back in September, a friend of mine on the Facebook went and saw Johnny Mathis. I didn't know he was still alive, more or less still touring. And she posted some videos of his performance. He's not lost anything in his vocal range. It's good to know. I really appreciate his vocals now. And this is one of those albums I remember playing when I was just a tyke. Now this is one that I thought was really going to be uncool when I put it on. I was surprised at how well I enjoyed this. Bert Kaempfert and his orchestra, Christmas Wonderland, $3.47, Department 42. It's got the usual Little Drummer Boy, Santa Claus is coming to town, I heard the bells on Christmas Day, Holiday for Bells, Winter Wonderland, Children's Christmas Dream, etc. This is one I actually purchased myself out of the bargain bins. Emmylou Harris, Light of the Stable, the Christmas album. I have played this one. It was great. It's got Ricky Skaggs on here, and Emory Gordy Jr., Albert Lee plays mandolin on here. Hank DeVito, Tony Brown, Brian Ahern, Brian Bowers, Rodney Crowell, of course, makes an appearance. And he's got, or she's got harmony vocals on one tune by Neil Young, Dolly Parton, and Linda Ronstadt. That's a great one. Add that to your collection if you like Christmas music. Now we get into a series, and I don't know why, but there was a bit of a Christmas music war between Goodyear, the tire people, there's their logo, and Firestone, also the tire people. And I remember my dad would pick these up at the local tire store annually. I'm missing a bunch of these, but I've got a few. This is the number 2. 10 great artists of our time. You've got Andre Costel, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Eugene Ormandy, Nelson Eddy, Norman Luboff, Leonard Bernstein, Andre Previn, Percy Faith, Eileen Farrell, the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, and Earl Wrightson. So they have a different lineup on each one. It seems like Every one of them has the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. And what I like about these two is they give the story of the songs, when they were written, how they became popular, etc. And they're all on Columbia Special Products label, which is kind of a cool label. There you go. And each one of these that I do have are almost mint minus as far as the vinyl is concerned. And they're really good. So here is this might be the first one because no, this is number 3. Robert Goulet, Leonard Bernstein, Mormon Tabernacle Choir, Julie Andrews, Isaac Stern, Christy Minstrels, and I wonder if Kenny Rogers was with them at that time. Mitch Miller gets in on this one. Album number 4. Mary Martin, Doris Day, The Brothers Four, Mahalia Jackson. And I'm just mentioning the people that were not on the earlier ones that I showed. Album 7. Jerry Vale, Barbara Streisand, Tony Bennett, Sally Ann Howells, Steve Lawrence, Diana Carroll, John Davidson, Harry Simone Coral, and the Cleveland Orchestra. So there's number 7. Great Songs of Christmas. So they changed up their cover art a little bit on this one, and this is number 8. Andy Williams, Robert Goulet, Carol Lawrence, Ray Conniff, Johnny Mathis, Tony Bennett, Anthony Newley, Sally Ann Howes, Robert Merrill, and a Mofo. This is number 3. I got them out of order. Leslie Uggams, Bobby Vinton, Jim Neighbors, Ed Sullivan Orchestra. Didn't know Ed Sullivan had him in orchestra. Cary Grant, the Philadelphia Orchestra and the Temple University Choir. Burl Ives. And these came from Grant's Department Store. This may not be a good year. It is not. So if you remember Grant's Department Store, or if you had Grant's, this was one of their special releases for Christmas. Now, we get into the Firestone side of things. Custom recording from the voice of Firestone. This might be the first one, featuring Brian Sullivan and the Firestone Orchestra and Chorus. Rise Stevens and Brian Sullivan. These are really good too. They almost sound like they were a live show recorded from like a television production or something. And when I see these that I don't have, I'm going to continue to collect them. $0.25. This was volume 3 with Gordon McCrae, Martha Wright, Franco Corelli, and Roberta Peters. Volume 4, The Young Americans, The Bells of Christmas, Julie Andrews, Vic Damone, Dorothy Kirsten, and James McCracken. Sorry, Santa. This is number 5. Andre Previn, Julie Andrews, featuring The Bells of Christmas. And that's it for the Firestones. We got Merry Christmas, Andy Williams. I saw on YouTube there's an old Andy Williams Christmas special on there. If you look around for vintage Christmas TV on YouTube, you can really find some good old stuff. If you're old like me, it'll refresh your memories. Arthur Fiedler and the Boston Pops, A Christmas Festival on Deutsche Grammophon. There he is, the man. There's the famous Deutsche Grammophon label. The album looks mint. Joy to the World on Capitol. The full spectrum of sound and stereo, the Roger Wagner Choral. This stereo record should be played only with a stereo cartridge and needle to avoid damage. Check that label out. Ooh, it's the Rainbow Capitol. And of course, it looks mint. Another Johnny Mathis, The Sounds of Christmas. He looks younger here. Mercury. There's the old black label Mercury. I intend to get through these. I've listened to quite a few already. The Sound of Christmas. The Malacrino Strings on Vocalion. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Is Vocalion how you pronounce that? I heard somebody pronounce it Vocal Lion. I don't think that's correct. but it's possible. Enhanced for stereo. I think that means it was a bounce stereo, like Capitol did with the early Beatles stuff. There's Vocalion label. This one needs a good cleaning, but it still looks like it's very close to mint. Christmas with Jesse Crawford, hi-fi pipe organ on Decca. Decca full stereo, the ultimate in hi-fi. Yep, that's Decca all right. We're getting close to the end of this segment. Harry Belafonte to wish you a Merry Christmas. In living stereo, Star in the East, the gifts they gave, the Son of Mary, 12 Days of Christmas. That is my least favorite Christmas song. If it just didn't go on as long as it did, it wouldn't be bad. Got a medley of the joys of Christmas, O Little Town of Bethlehem, Deck the Halls, and the First Noel. And another medley. I don't know that I've ever heard this one. On the living stereo, it's got a hairline. I don't know if it will affect the play, but we'll find out. Seam split seam, and finally, for this chapter, the Christmas Spirit, Johnny Cash. Love the cover. I think it's Christmas as I Knew It. That is a really dark, heart-wrenching tale. To me, anyway. This is the stereo version. Still in its original shrink. There's the original inner sleeve. Here's how records give you more of what you want. So there's Mike Bloomfield, Al Cooper, the Buckinghams, Garmin and Sifunkel, Nashville Skyline, Tim Hardin,